To them. Hi, everybody that's joining us. Alrighty then. I'm shuffling the new deck. I haven't actually shuffled it yet. It's still kind of in order that I came in. You can see the colors are still color coordinated. See if I can get it mixed up a little bit more. So the deck is set up into 11 sections, 11 categories of different life paths, and 4 cards within each life path, which I'll probably mention again once more people are on, but I'll tell you that while we're waiting. Let's see, okay. Turn this over so I can't see the gemstone. No messages? Come on. It's a brand new deck. Maybe I need to shuffle it the other way. Yeah, this is so brand new, it's hard to get one. I'll pull one. Who are you? Intuitive. I love it. So the intuitive card, Phantom Quartz, is the matching gemstone, and it's in the category of investigation. That's the broader archetype. So the question that you contemplate is, do you just know things about people without any conscious reasoning? Embrace your intuitive nature, believe yourself, and trust your gut feelings. Look deeper and uncover information to aid yourself or others in restoring clarity and balance. The affirmation for the intuitive is, it's easy for me to see beyond the obvious. I am extremely intuitive and perceptive. I am aware of what thoughts, people, or situations need to be realigned in my life. That's interesting. The book. So we pulled a card, the intuitive, and I am going to go over to the investigation category in the book. So it comes with a decent size. It doesn't look like a lot, but it's 20,000 words. So I know because I wrote it and I had to make it 20,000 words. So we did. I did. And so in here, you're able to look things up after you pull a card. So in the investigation category in this section, there are 4 different life paths. In this category is also the intuitive, which you just heard me say, the historian, the journalist, and the scientist. So this category is about the world of investigation, and the world of investigation encompasses many aspects of life for a variety of reasons. This sole purpose category includes life path of historian Kambaba Jasper, intuitive Phantom Quartz Point, the journalist Zebra Jasper, and the scientist Clear Quartz Point. Each of these roles requires some level of examination and inquiry to uncover the truth of a matter. On any given day, you might find yourself in one of these roles, even if investigation is not your sole purpose. The gifts of investigation archetype include an avenue to fine-tune your skills of observation. See, and that's what I like about working with this deck is, there's 11 categories plus the 44 cards, so 44 different aspects to get to know yourself better, and we all have all 44 within us. So this is a time for self-observation, especially because of the time we're living in right now, which is a time of going inward, hopefully staying more to oneself and being not isolated, but introverted for a little while, and for self-examination and self-observation. So this investigation card does apply. So all situations are mirrors that reflect back at you the truth of a matter for your personal edification through self-observation. Morals and ethics are learned best through guidance and self-application for personal improvement. This archetype encourages enlightenment through self-examination. Allow the vibrational matching gemstones of these life paths to uplift your morals, your spiritual connection, and your intellectual prowess. Yeah, the crystal garden is not accepting guests indefinitely. We're virtual and online now because it's going to be a long time before this, unfortunately, this pandemic shifts its energy out of our space. So it's good. It's about innovation. And that's part of what this talk is going to be about also, because as we take a look at our soul purpose, we watch how our life evolves. We may learn certain things as a child that we don't think are relative, but they are. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, seeing that I just had an inspiration of something to bring up as a note. Okay, so back when I was writing the Essential Guide to Crystals, Minerals, and Stones, every time I wrote about a gemstone, and there's 160 gemstones in that book, I had this realization that, you know, this gemstone would be good for an accountant, it would be good for a banker, it would be, you know, and I would list that, and that was part of the physical properties. In the book, it's set up so that you get the you get in the Essential Guide to Crystals, Minerals, and Stones. I'm referring to another book. It's set up so you have the spiritual properties, the mental properties, the emotional properties, and the physical. And the physical is more earthbound, earthly, mundane world that we live in. And so that's why it just kept coming to me that each stone has multiple life paths or careers that could benefit from working with that gemstone. And so it started out like this. That's how it started. And it was an appendices in the back. It is an appendices in an appendix in the back of the book. And then I think I went further into that and expanded it more when I wrote Crystals Beyond Beginners, and it's in there as well, to talk about career types, career archetypes, or life paths, and how certain minerals and stones and metals resonate and can assist to amplify your positive attributes regarding that particular path. So then, thanks to Inner Traditions Bear and Company / Fintorn Press, it became a book, a deck and a book. And this is going to be coming out on August 4th. And it's in the warehouse now. For those of you that came early, you might have heard that a little while ago. So it's getting ready to start to the distribution channels and people who pre-ordered. And I know quite a few of the people that like my books and decks have already pre-ordered. So thank you for that. So you'll be seeing it very soon after the launch date, which is August 4th. So this is just a little sneak peek so we could dive into it a little bit. So one of the things that I really felt is important to say is also, and I say this almost every time I teach or share, is everything is energy and everything has a vibration, and all energy resonates out, it radiates, and then it comes back. And that energy that we put out is applicable to working with our different variety of soul purposes. You know, we have always known various aspects of what we could or should do in our life, you know, and I'm going to use myself as an example because that's the easiest way for me to share. Is, you know, when I was a little girl, I used to practice, and I'll say practice, talking to all my, would set up all my dolls, my stuffed animals, and we'd have class, and I would teach classes. But I was using the Bible. I'm not a Bible thumper by any stretch of the imagination, but I was doing spiritual teachings. I was teaching them spiritual stuff. I'm sure it was jibber jabber because I was pretty little, but I was practicing. I think I even had a chalkboard up. Have I ever told you this? Kate's in the room, so I'll also talk to Kate. It was kind of cool. It was on our front, like we had like a cold porch. It was closed. It was enclosed, but it wasn't heated in Brooklyn. I grew up in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. And so, you know, I'd bundle up and go out there and play with my, you know, and have class out in my front porch. So years go by, and so then as I grew up, I started working with my father in the construction industry. He had a building supply yard, and that was something like, it was like before Home Depot. BHD, before Home Depot. And so, you know, I was learning about retail, but I didn't realize I was learning about retail. Even working with the invoices and managing all of that, and even dispatching the trucks to deliver concrete and rebar and cements and you know, sand to various places in the 5 boroughs. I started that at well, I started a little bit really young, like 6, 7, 8, but then authentically at 13 years old. So every summer I was at work. So, you know, I look at these things in retrospect in my 60s now and realize, wow, I have been training my whole life so that I can learn how to manage multiple types of things in the work that I do today. As a child, I studied and played with, you know, by practicing teaching events, so to speak, to my dolls. And then the retail aspect I'm utilizing here at the Crystal Garden. And we're always somehow aligned. We know deep within our own consciousness what we're supposed to do. And that isn't just one thing. It could be very many things. I definitely have multiple paths. Not everybody needs to or wants to do that, but there are a variety of different aspects of our consciousness that we can utilize to help other people. And so I do it through aromatherapy and writing books and having a conscious living store and so on. So the whole point of writing this book was to help you remember your sacred agreement with the divine. And that agreement is like a contract, or you sat down and you figured it out. If you sit down in spirit, I don't know, with, you know, your group of guides, angels, and, you know, the vibration of consciousness that comes from the source, the universe, God, goddess, creator, based on prior lifetimes, because we also bring in information, ideas, talents that we can offer to others that we remember from being and doing certain things in other lifetimes. And that's sometimes what the benefit of a regression therapy is. In fact, I was thinking recently that I would be offering a live on through Zoom. We talked about this, to do a past life regression. And it's not quite the same as doing a private session, but it's still good, you know, and you can get some good insights. So before you were born onto this planet, you knew what you intended to do, what life challenges you would encounter, what lessons you would learn, what issues would be healed, and how you would make a lasting contribution toward harmony and peace. Now it's a matter of trying to remember that or tapping into that. And I'm hoping that this deck can assist you in doing that. So here is an example of one category. So the deck is set up into 11 categories, and or 11 life paths. In this case is a sample of the category of being someone who is in the world of art or creativity, great creativity. So the chef card is in this category. An appetite is the gemstone. Get it? Chef, appetite, pun intended. But it is about digestion and absorbing foods and such. The composer and blue topaz, the stylist, pink calcite, and the visual artist, which is carnelian. And this is it's a two-sided deck, just like, you know, all my other decks. I figure, why have just a blank side? You might as well use both sides of the card and get the best out of it. So for the visual artist, the carnelian gemstone, do you have special awareness and notice form, color, textures, and geometrics? You might. And you might apply that in sewing. You might apply that in how you arrange a table and how you create a meal. And that's why the chef card is part of that too. Tap into the part of you that is an artist. Allow yourself to receive inspiration, to think beyond the normal lens. Channel divine inspiration and organize your thoughts so they manifest in your life. So carnelian is such a great stone for helping you to have the courage and confidence to take action to bring forth your ideas. You know, I was blessed to have been brought up in a family where I was encouraged to just try. You don't know until you try. So that's, part of being a success in life and in business and life in general is you're willing to give things a try and not worry about if it's going to work or not. Yeah, you try. If it doesn't work, you do something else. And that's how the mentality that I grew up with, but I also think it's beneficial because then it doesn't hold you back. So if you're having thought forms regarding, oh, I'll have a block, I can't do this, or oh, I don't think that's going to work. It's like, no, give it a try. Start somewhere and you'll be surprised it really works. So the affirmation is, and I have all people in this spot. Let me minimize this because I can't see my own screen. Okay. The affirmation is creativity flows through me. I can see things that others seem to miss. My imagination is the key to my success. Your imagination is the key to your success. If you can imagine something, if you can visualize it, man, it's like you've already done it. And so then when you do it, it's just natural, it's normal, I have great vision and perspective. So all good thoughts to think on and contemplate. And here are just some ideas to why you would want to use the deck, how you would do it with the intention of that you want to spark your creativity. You want to pull a card so that you can get some oomph to feel like, okay, I'm getting some ideas, I'm getting some support, gives you empowers. That oomph is that empowering yourself to step forward with confidence on your chosen life path. And you can choose life paths at different times. I was a mortgage banker for 12 years before I opened the Crystal Garden. And that too was a stepping stone. It was a beautiful experience. I loved being a mortgage banker. Stock market crashed in 87. So my life was moving. The universe, God, Goddess, Creator decided for me because I didn't know what I was doing until about 18 years into it, maybe. With 33 years here at the Crystal Garden. So those things are the building blocks and they're stepping stones. So I'm good with our money. I know how to manage the money. I know how to deal with finance, and that's very helpful in business. So just because we may have had various careers and different things that we've done, it's all part of the bigger picture of aiming toward what our path is. And like I said, multiple paths perhaps, including, in my case, being an author. So the cards could also potentially ignite your desire to bring your ideas to fruition. And it would give you ideas and help you to put the pieces of the puzzle together. And then manifestation, this is a key phrase that I like to share. Manifestation requires focus, it requires action, knowledge, and inspired thought. So let's talk about that just for a moment. And these are things that you probably already know. I'm here to just hopefully uplift, inspire, and reactivate some ideas or thoughts that you might have. So manifestation requires focus. So the first thing is to get really clear. What is it that you're doing? What is it that you're wanting to do? What are the aspects of everything? And, I have to say that I used to journal so much. I'm sure I'll come across that box. It's a big, big plastic tub full with all my journals. But that's how I would sort out my thoughts, and that's how I got focused on what I did want and what I did not want. The next thing is to take action, is do something about it. Take the steps that it takes to start whatever it is that your path you are doing right now. Maybe you're about to get an online business, because now is the time to have an online business, to be able to stay more home or away from public because of this global pandemic. But the action is to figure out, well, maybe I need to take a class, knowledge. Maybe I need to take a little course on how do I do that? What are the components of that? How would I go about that? And I have taken many courses over the years for various different reasons. Once I know that I was like, okay, I want to have an e-commerce site, let's say. Well, I studied that. We figured it out. We went, not only myself, but also people that work with me. And then inspired thought. Now, inspired thought, I want to encourage you that if you receive what I call like a download or some literally inspired thought, take action on it. Believe in yourself. Have the faith and the trust in your own, ability to receive guidance from the divine. There's so many realizations that I've had. And if you can almost ask anyone who works here with me at the Crystal Garden, I come in and I woke up this morning and I decided. Isn't that true? Very, very much, right? So this is something that, and a lot of times mine comes, I guess, while I'm sleeping, and then I wake up and I know. I don't necessarily remember a dream, but that inspired thought can come in various ways. Everybody receives inspired thoughts differently. So here's an example, and I picked the builder or general contractor because I come from a long line of contractors. My grandfather was a contractor, my father was a contractor, brother, nephew, all my uncles, everybody contractors. So I really relate to pyrite. Pyrite is a fantastic gemstone for activating that feeling of having a strong foundation. Every good building has to have a good, strong foundation on which you build things. And so when you pull a contractor card, you're thinking, but I'm not in the construction industry. I'm not in building, but you are. You're building your life. You're building perhaps a business. You're building something. You might be building a meal. You have to have the foundational elements in place, just like Maslow's pyramid of like food, shelter, water. Once we get the food, shelter, water taken care of, those primary needs, then we can start building up from there. And so that's how you can often apply the general contractor cards. So that this card says, as you can see, are you a natural at overseeing projects through to completion? That would be important if you're doing construction work. You have the skills necessary to follow your dreams. Stay grounded and focused. Create a strong foundation and a good team of people around you. I've done that. I'm so blessed. I have such an amazing team of people around me. In fact, one is sitting right here in the room with me that's making sure that the Facebook Live aspect is done, being handled right, and she's actually the host of this. So, and there's others, and they're in the other room across the hall on the front, answering the front door, passing through a tiny little opening, people's what they purchased, because we're not letting people in the building. So the point is to have a team around you. And so you would think, okay, I'm not a contractor, but that applies to each one of us in so many different ways. And so have the confidence and believe in your ability to be prosperous and abundant. So the affirmation that goes with that is I focus on my intentions and take positive action to manifest my goals. My confidence is rock solid. I am prosperous and abundant in all aspects of my life. So this would be a great card to work with when you are in the process of trying to realign with being comfortable with being wealthy, very wealthy. So now take a look, see the other cards that are in this category of building is the electrician, and I chose the copper to go with that because electricity, there's copper wiring in the electrical wiring. Is that still true? Do we still use that? I don't know. I think it is, right? And then the engineer sardonyx and the urban planner honey calcite. And the urban planning for honey calcite to me was just so in alignment because honey calcite is also the gemstone from the Animal Totems and the Gemstone Kingdom book. I have honey calcite associated with bee and the bee medicine, and that's very much working. Urban planning has to do with how does the whole big picture come together. So much more than that, but it's part of the being able to create community and society based on the planning that is created. So when we go to this next card, I pulled one because I wanted to have one that was associated with perhaps people that were watching, because those of you that are watching, many of you are spiritual practitioners. And so this is a spiritual practitioner card. It's part of the communication category. So I want to point out, like on this card, you can see that's the color coding. I'm going to go back, the color coding. See, that's everything in this category of building will have the color coding of the tan or brownish color, light brown. Now, I didn't come up with this. I have to give credit to Richard Crooks. He's in Bangkok. He's the artist that created this. He's the artist that did all the artwork. He took my good work, and then the publisher and Richard came up with the idea of this beautiful compass on the card. Now look on the right-hand side of this general contractor card, and we'll go back to the other card in a moment. But notice how the compass above the affirmation on the right-hand side of the screen, you see affirmation. See how the compass is pointing to building? So even though you have the card turned over, the compass is showing you what this card is relating to, what career path or life path that is associated with it. So now when we go to the spiritual practitioner, you can see that the color now is teal for this category, and there's others in this category, 3 others. And notice that on the affirmation side of the card, now the compass is pointing to communication, which I just thought was brilliant. It wasn't my idea. I'm grateful to, I think it might have been my acquisition editor that came up with that idea. Anyway, back to spiritual practitioner. The gemstone I chose for spiritual practitioners, chrysocolla. And the point here is, or to focus on, is do you have a strong desire to help people on their spiritual path? And I do. I know many of you that are watching do. And whether it's you're helping others or you're helping yourself, this would apply. Be a beacon for others by teaching spiritual truths, or you can translate that, be a beacon for yourself and align with your own spiritual truths. See, you can use this in many ways. Your intuitive senses are strong, which helps you to be a good spiritual support. Your direction and insights are valuable and make a difference in the lives of many. So that would apply to people who are like tarot card readers or regression therapists or Reiki practitioners, people who are helping others realign and balance their life. So the important aspect, or one of the many important aspects of this, is that inspired thoughts from higher levels of awareness is amplified when you set an intention to spark your mind and bring forth great ideas. This is a direct quote from the booklet, in which I had pointed out earlier when we were, in fact, I have it tagged for some things that we're going to check on in a minute. So it's the point that you're setting an intention to spark your mind to bring forth great ideas. So if you then, and in my case, what I often will do is I'll fall asleep with an intention. I may not get the answer the next morning, but I know that it's like, I have to figure this out. How can I make all this work for the best of all concerned? And that's how I got the realization to take my store to virtual, online, and the way that we're doing it now, which is, very personalized. We're personal shopping with people, doing FaceTime with them, and sending texts and videos of the merchandise and such. And that's for the highest good of all concern. That's the highest good for myself. I'm the key man in the business, and I have to stay healthy. I'd like to live. So I'm going to skip catching this COVID, but also my staff. I love these people that I work with. So it's important for me that they're safe and sound. And then it's also, I feel like, a social responsibility to not encourage the spread. And so I didn't want to encourage people coming in, talking to each other, getting too close to each other, and us being in a place where people are going to catch this very transmittable disease, whatever you want to call it, virus. Yeah. So when we go over to this next set here, oh, I didn't say the affirmation. Let's say the affirmation. Let me move my stuff out of the way. Affirmation for the spiritual practitioner. I easily and effortlessly share divine wisdom and knowledge. I am contemplative and enjoy a meditation practice on a regular basis. Contemplate what that means. Be contemplative. Contemplate, what does it mean to be contemplative? So it's different for each of us how we move into a contemplative state. And then a meditation practice on a regular basis is easier than you might think. You don't have to sit in meditation in a very, let's say, regimented way, though you can, and that's very beautiful. But maybe you're not drawn to do that in this moment, or it's not comfortable. You can be meditative for the 5 minutes before you fall asleep, or you can be meditative and contemplative, both or either, when you wake up in the morning and feel, check in with yourself, not just get up and go, but be present, be in your body. And I often pray a lot in the shower. For some reason, it's a place of good connection, but also in the pool. So I'm grateful that I am blessed with that opportunity to swim in my pool, pray for myself and others, but also to have realization. So whatever's right for you, maybe it's your bathtub, maybe it's while you're taking a walk. It doesn't have to be sitting, although 5 minutes sitting in quiet even is good, very good. Sharing my experiences with others help them on their spiritual journey. And it often does. We're all connected, we're all one, becoming more evident these days. So I wanted to give you a little sample of pulling a card. You helped me come up with what the question is. I told Kate today, I said, I made this slide. I have pose a question, interpret the answers. But what is the question? Do you remember what you said?
How can I innovate my business to better handle the current situation?
How can I innovate my business to better handle the current situation? Thank you, Kate. Well done. And so how do we interpret the answer to that? So teacher card is here on the left, fluorite, and the manufacturer card, bismuth. So let's read it. Let's see how this can apply. So we're going to innovate and deal with what's going on right now. How are we going to innovate during this time? So do you recognize the power of your mind? So that's the first part. Is what do you feel about your own way of thinking and ability to be intelligent? Retrain your brain, mind, thoughts, and consciousness to focus on your goals and ambitions. So that means you would need to potentially go ahead and make a list of what your goals and intentions are. I think write it down, make it happen. So be clear, the clearer you can get on what is it that you want to do. Transform negating emotions, that's often fear, and thoughts to realize your intellect and inner power. So not everybody was brought up in a scenario where people were very, very positive with them. They maybe didn't have constant positive feedback. Now you need to transform any of those things that, oh, you can't do that, or you're not good enough, cancel, clear. Not true. You can do anything you put your mind to. And that's the thought that you want to hold on to. So you have the power to achieve great things. So I applied this particular card. In fact, whoa, the card that I'm playing with is the card. I just have the card sitting here. I love it. I would say that I had to do that for my business because I had to have the realization and think about how would we make this all work, to do what we're doing now with a store full of merchandise, and we're talking a lot of merchandise, and still be able to pay all the bills and pay for staff. Thank you to the government for what we call the government cheese of the PPP loan. Thank you so much. So that helps a lot as well. Okay, so the point here is that we take the teacher card. The fluorite gemstone has a lot to do with being focused, using your intelligence. And then the manufacturer card is Do you see how all the pieces fit together to create something useful? So now it's like, how do we put the pieces of the puzzle together to make this work for the long haul, for the longer term? Because now this is in the entrepreneurship category. And you would have to be a visionary. In fact, I think visionary might be in this category, the visionary. Use an organized approach. So look at how that gemstone is. The gemstone is like almost like a motherboard. So is fluorite when it grows. If you saw a cluster, they have a similar vibe, the way that it forms. So you would get it and have an organized approach. All the pieces will fall together with ease. Untraditional approaches will bring new perspective. Your creations make a better world. So there's I know that there's a few people on here. I can't see everybody's name on here because of the way my screen is set up. But I know a few of you that are on here have been innovating their life and have been working toward creating your business and working a little bit outside of what's normal for you. And it's working. And I'm really happy for you. It's good. Good job, right? So this would be like, how can I use this? So I would say for innovation, my mind is strong and clear. So is it safe for me to be powerful and smart? Yes. I am extremely intelligent. If you don't feel any of those affirmations are true, then maybe do something about it to make them true, because that's how you're going to be able to innovate at this time to be successful during this pandemic that could last a long, long time. And so we have a new way of being, a new way of living for a while. And we'll all get through it just really greatly. It will be fantastic over the big picture. We'll look back and know that it was a good thing, even though it's terrible for so many people. So with the affirmation for the manufacturer and bismuth, I think outside the norm and find creative ways to approach life. The rainbow of light and positive energy expands my consciousness. Creative ideas flow through me on a regular basis, and I bring them into physical reality. So if you're thinking, I don't feel like I'm getting any creative ideas and I don't even know how to bring them into physical reality, I'm like, yeah, I think you do. You just have to stop thinking that you don't. You really can have, and you probably do get creative ideas, but maybe you push them to the side for whatever reason. Grab them, hold on to them, work on them, because it's fun. And well, and unless you're at work right now and need to be at your job, what else are you going to do? So creative ideas. You always like to potentially add something? Did you want to say anything, Kate?
Just that the teacher card also represents, using this time as a teaching moment for all of us to go within and learn what we can from it.
Very good. Yes, it is a teaching moment for sure. Thank you. Good point. Good point. So here's the big list. These are all the categories. And so I promised a sneak peek. This is a little sneak peek, a few cards, and then you see the whole list of everything. So you can see that I also have the entertainment category, actor and peacock copper, a musician, blue calcite. And a lot of these relate to the other decks I have, to the Masters, Mystics, and Saints, and the Gemstone Guardians, and the Archangels, and Gemstone Guardians cards. There's a lot of overlapping and integration between them. Let's see. Finance, because I was in finance for so many years. The accountant, citrine is beneficial. The banker, emeralds, that's wealth. The broker, jade, wealth and good luck. Wealth management, red tiger's eye, that's having courage and keep things in a good order. And so there's just a little preview for you, and you'll be able to see it when you get your deck too. And I know what I was going to do. I was going to read just a little bit more. That's why we put these little tags in this, right? So in education, I like this little paragraph here. Throughout your life, you learn and you teach. You are constantly in the process of giving and receiving lessons for personal growth on all levels, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, through various modalities of training. The education archetype offers your soul the gift of enlightenment, development of your physical body, improvement of your mind, and expansion of your awareness. Let this archetype open your mind, body, and soul to look to others to coach you throughout your life, because there's always something new to learn. Likewise, there's always something you have to share to help others on their life journey. So that applies well to that. In fact, I'll go back to that card. And, oops, where was it? The education card? The teacher card. We'll get there. We'll get there. And then thank you, Kate. And then where am I? Who am I? The teacher card. Let's see if there's anything we didn't already say that I wrote in the book. When you pull the teacher and fluorite card, it may be an indication that you have an opportunity to provide insight and knowledge to others. Fluorite lends itself to helping you to remember that you have innate divine intelligence. You have acquired information and skills through experience with which you can educate others with basic understanding and beyond. Fluorite is the genius stone. This stone's natural geometric configuration calls to mind a motherboard of a computer. So on an energetic level, you are being shown that it is time to tap into your vast reservoir of accumulated knowledge. Looking at things from various angles and configurations will help you to generate the solutions you need, as well as new ideas for the future. So that makes so much sense to me. Hopefully it does to you. And then in the category of entrepreneurship and the manufacturer card, I want to touch base, say a little here. I want to read a little bit of the entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs stay focused on the goal, and they deflect negative distractions. They are a grounding force for their team members. It takes courage, confidence to create your business, fulfill your vision, and take action. Call on your willingness to make unlimited income doing what you love. Let's underscore that for a moment, dramatic pause. Call on your willingness to make unlimited income doing what you love. Uncover your business acumen and tap into your determination. Be adventurous and farsighted as you think outside the box to allow the implementation of your ideas into action. So the manufacturer and business, bismuth, well, it could work for business. So when you pull the manufacturer and bismuth card, it is signifying that it's time to take the steps to bring your ideas into physical manifestation. And it looks like a bunch of steps there too, doesn't it? Bismuth, the ally mineral, is an element that crystallizes in spectacular stair-step formations, typically laboratory grown, manufactured. Bismuth aids in tapping into building the perfect structure one step at a time using base materials. Bismuth's geometric patterns help create pathways for the development of creative ideas, which makes a perfect matching vibration for this path. So I guess that sums it up. I think that's it for today. Okay. All right. Well, I want to thank you all for being here today. And I hope that you'll continue to join in on some of these fun events. Have a great one, everybody. Bye.